Whoa, hold up. Hey folks, welcome back. You ever scroll past a gun ad these days and feel like you're being hustled by a used car salesman with a night vision fetish? Because here in 2025, it seems like every company's yelling that their latest polymer Wonder Blaster is the next holy grail, just $2. Oh, a blood oath and your firstborn son. But let's be real, this ain't the year to be throwing good money after bad. Guns are expensive. Ammo costs more than your streaming subscriptions combined, and with every influencer and brand trying to out-tacticool each other, it's hard to tell what's actually worth your time and what's just another overpriced safe queen with a Gucci slide. But here's the good news: buried beneath all that noise are some true performers. Pistols that punch way above their price tag. Rigs that shoot flat, run smooth, and feel like they ought to cost twice what they do. Some are budget brawlers, some are race day sleepers, but every one of them's got one thing in common: they give you more than you paid for. So whether you're new to the game, been burning brass since the Clinton ban, or just want a sidearm that works hard without acting fancy, this list is for you. 12 pistols, all killer, no filler. Let's jump in, cause your money ought to buy more than just hype. Springfield Prodigy. Now I know what you're thinking. Didn't this thing hit the scene with more problems than a moose in rut? And yep, you'd be right. When this pistol first showed up, it looked like Springfield was fixin' to storm the 2011 market with a double stack. Optics ready bruiser sitting right around $1,500. But folks online tore it apart. Reliability hiccups, tight tolerances that didn't play nice, rough edges, just about everything short of catching fire. Thing is, Springfield paid attention. They rolled up their sleeves and sorted it out. And what we've got now, one seriously overlooked shooter that delivers way more than it ought to for the price. The Prodigy comes optics ready straight from the box, with a bull barrel that adds weight where it makes a difference, and a grip module that just melts into your palm. As for magazines, it plays real nice with traditional 2011 setups, which is mighty handy if you've already got a stash of mags sitting around. The trigger? It ain't exactly tuned for race day, but it's clean enough to run carry or comp duty without breaking stride. And if you're the tinkerin' type, drop in a lighter spring, smooth out the guts, and this thing will go toe-to-toe with pistols twice the price. It's one of the smoothest cycling 2011s in its class. The slide runs like it's on rails. Recoil's soft as a whisper. It tracks dead flat. You could run this thing at a USPSA match or just keep it bedside, ready for when the coyotes come knocking. It's flexible, it's dependable now, and best of all, it don't cost $3,000. If you've been wanting to get your boots in the 2011 game without bleeding your bank account dry, the Springfield Prodigy's finally turned into the gun. We were all hoping it'd be, and at this price, it flat out earns its spot on the list. SARNINE SOCOM. Time to shine a light on one of the most overlooked pistols out there, the SARNINE SOCOM. Rolled out of Turkey with input from their special forces, this piece is built for the fight. Priced for the everyman, and let me tell you, it flat out performs. For right around $500, you're getting an optic-ready slide, a threaded barrel, suppressor height sights, and a flared magwell all included, no extra tinkering needed. That kind of kit would usually run you a couple hundred more bones on other setups, but the SARNINE SOCOM shows up ready to hit the ground running. The ergonomics? Spot on. The grip texture's grippy without being harsh, and the way it's shaped just makes sense. Feels like it was drawn up by someone who actually handles guns, not just some fella behind a desk with a computer. The trigger's another surprise. For a gun in this price range, it's got a short take-up, a clean break, and a reset you can feel even through a pair of winter gloves. Out on the range, she runs like a champ. The slide cycle's smooth, recoil stays tame, and follow-ups are quick and natural. After running a few mags, you can tell the SOCOM wasn't built for looks, it was built to work. Duty grade through and through, wearing its fancy trimmings like a wolf wearing sheep's clothes. Only gripe, that rail underneath is a bit picky. It's just proprietary enough that not every light'll fit without an adapter. Most of the big-name setups like TLRs and Surefires come with the right bits to make it work. So it ain't a deal-breaker, but it's worth knowing before you start building out. If you're after Glock-style dependability with a few more tools straight from the factory, and you don't want to empty your wallet doing it, the SARNINE SOCOM's a straight-up sleeper hit. Quiet on the forums, loud at the range. Live Free Armory Apollo 11. Here's a name that sounds like it ought to be sitting on the moon, but believe me, the Live Free Armory Apollo 11 feels right at home here on Earth, especially when you're behind the sights at the range. First time you lay eyes on it, you'd figure it costs way more than it does. We're talking under $1,000 for a 2011 style double-stack shooter that runs smoother than plenty of pistols that go for twice the money. The way the slide fits the frame, it's slick, real slick, like butter on a hot skillet. After more than 500 rounds without a single hiccup, the Apollo 11's proved it ain't just a looker, it's a worker. The kind of pistol you can run all day long without worrying about babying it. Weight balance is just right. The way it cycles, you'd think it was one of those high-dollar customs. But here's the kicker, it ain't. Now, is it flawless? Not quite. The grip frame is made with a 3D printer, and that might rub the tacticool folks the wrong way. And while the trigger holds its own, it sure wouldn't complain about a little spit and polish. Still, even right out of the box, this thing hums. Toss in a lighter spring, smooth out a few internals, and you've got yourself a serious player in the budget 2011 space. This is your smart way into the double-stack world without gutting your savings. It's got soft recoil, smart ergonomics, and that just right feel when you're on target. Ain't flashy, ain't loud, but it runs and it runs well. And that, my friend, is what makes it a real threat. Bull Armory Tac Pro 5-inch. If you've ever wanted the feel of a high-end custom 2011 without dropping staccato money, the Bull Armory Tac Pro 5-inch might just be the ticket. This pistol's like showing up to a track day in a full-blown race car and letting folks know you got it for half the price. And truth be told, that's not far off. With a price tag sitting around $2,400, the Tac Pro ain't what you'd call cheap, but when you lay out everything it brings to the table, it stands tall as one of the sharpest buys in the performance pistol world. You're looking at a ported slide, a bull barrel, a flared magwell, a match-grade trigger, and slide-to-frame tolerances so snug you'd swear it came out of some boutique custom shop. The grip texture is downright aggressive in a good way. Recoil? Barely there. And that trigger? Just a whisper of take up before you hit the wall, then snap. No creep, no slop, just clean, crisp breaking. Whether you're running competition, showing off at the local range, or just feeding your inner speed freak, this thing's built to fly. It runs smooth, it runs flat, and it don't flinch. Honestly, if Bull Armory had slapped a bigger name logo on the side, they could have charged over $4,000 and nobody would have batted an eye. But they didn't. And that's what makes it worth talking about top-shelf craftsmanship without the top-shelf ego. Once you feel how flat this thing shoots, going back to your old polymer striker gun might feel like trading your Corvette for a lawnmower. Don't say I didn't give you fair warning. Canik Mete SFT Pro. Canik just don't seem to miss, and the Mete SFT Pro goes right ahead and proves it one more time. If the MC9 is their sleeper hit for folks who carry, the SFT Pro is their let's get after it showpiece. This thing rolls off the line ready for whatever you throw at it, competition, home defense, or just burning through ammo on a Saturday. And it does it all for right around $600, give or take. Straight out of the box, you're looking at an optic cut, a threaded barrel, an extended 18-round mag, and one of the finest striker-fired triggers you'll find on a factory gun. And that ain't just talk. This trigger holds its own against builds twice the cost clean wall, crisp break, and a reset quick enough to catch you off guard. You'll end up shooting faster than you planned, and you won't be complaining. But it ain't just the bang switch that stands out. Controls are set up right, extended slide stop, upgraded mag release, and grip geometry that just fits without any fuss. The texture's got bite, but it won't tear your hands up, and those slide cuts, they're not just there for show, they help you rack it slick and fast. Take it to the range, and this thing tracks like a laser beam. Light recoil, low bore height, and fast recovery between shots. Slap an optic on top and it really comes alive. You'll be clearing stages like you've been doing it for a decade. This kind of performance for under $700, that just doesn't happen often. If you're looking to dip a toe into the competition world, or you just want a damn fine pistol that's built to run, the Canik Mete SFT Pro deserves a spot near the top of your list. Glock 17 Gen 5. Love it or leave it, the Glock 17 Gen 5 is still the gold standard. And there's a good reason it keeps riding in holsters from Anchorage to Afghanistan. It ain't flashy, it ain't dressed up, but it runs like a tank in the dead of winter. And here in 2025, reliability still trumps bells and whistles. This latest generation finally squared away a few of the old complaints. You're getting front slide serrations, a flared magwell, ambi-slide stop, and the match-grade Glock Marksman barrel. Now the trigger, still not going to win any awards, but it's a smidge better than before. And yeah, first thing most folks do is toss those plastic factory sights. That's just how it goes. Where the 17 really shines is its plug-and-play nature. It's a builder's dream. The aftermarket's wide-open frames, barrels, triggers, slides, you name it, someone's making it. Want to turn it into a tricked-out Gucci Glock? Go for it. Want to leave it bone stock and just trust it to run? That's solid too. This thing's been in duty holsters for decades, military, law enforcement, special operations, you name it. It's passed torture tests, been through the ringer, and served folks from urban beats to remote outposts. And the kicker? It just works. For somewhere between $500 to $550, you're buying into a legacy of no-nonsense performance. And that's why it's still near the top of the heap. If you've never owned a Glock, this is where you start. And if you already do, chances are you've got 5 more just like it. Smith & Wesson M and P2.0. For some reason, this pistol still gets treated like the backup quarterback in the Super Bowl. But let me tell you, the M and P2.0's ready to start, and it's long past time folks gave it its due. First off, the way this thing feels in the hand, hard to beat. The grip angle is just right, and the texture's aggressive enough to feel like Velcro for your palm holds strong even when things get sweaty or fast. It comes in a handful of sizes too, whether you're packing it for concealed carry or want a full-size setup for home defense. There's a version that fits the job. And props to Smith & Wesson for finally cleaning up the trigger. That old hinge deal? Nobody misses it. But now, you've got a flatter face, crisp break, and a reset you can feel it's built for fast work. Feature-wise, it's packing heat. Optics-ready models, suppressor height sights, forward slide serrations, performance center versions if you're feeling fancy. And the price? Sits squarely in that sweet spot anywhere from $550 to $650, depending on the bells and whistles. This thing runs. Feed it bulk plinking ammo or your top-shelf defensive loads, and it eats it all without so much as a hiccup. Dirt, grit, wet weather, it keeps going. Glock might hog the spotlight, but this is the pistol you hand your buddy at the range, and they come back with that look in their eye like, wait, what is this? It's that kind of sleeper. The M and P2.0 is a workhorse in tactical trim. It ain't loud online, but when it comes to real-world shooting, it delivers where it counts. And it don't need a spotlight to prove it. Stealth Arms Platypus. Now this one right here, this is what happens when a mad scientist gets a hold of a 2011 and tells it to calm down on the price tag. The Stealth Arms Platypus is hands down one of the most fun, off-the-wall, and flat-out impressive pistols I've ever put lead through. And that ain't hype, that's just calling it how it is. So what makes the Platypus special? For starters, it's a 2011 style double stack that runs Glock 17 magazines. Yep, you heard that right. No need to shell out $90 a pop on fancy proprietary mags. If you've already got Glock mags in your stash, this one will feed off them just fine. Base price kicks off around $1,400, and even if you dress it up with ports, a comp, and a few extra speed parts, you're still sitting well below what a plain Jane Staccato XC would run you. Performance-wise? Flat, fast, scary accurate. Mine's got a ported slide, stippled frame, and I swear on a fresh mag, it could hold its own against just about anything. Staccato's rolling out. Trigger breaks under 1.5 pounds. Resets so short, it feels like the gun's read in your mind just nodding like, yep, I'm already on it. The grip module fits natural as can be. Recoil, barely there. And it just plain runs. I've been ringing mine out for 2 years now, no stoppages, no drama, just miles of fast, goofy, grin-inducing shooting. And here's the kicker, you can build it your way. Over on Stealth Arms' website, you can pick your slide cuts, colors, grip texture, sights, you name it. Right from the start, it's your gun. If you've been eyeing the 2011 world, but don't want to sign over the pink slip to your pickup, The Platypus might be the best kept secret out there. It's not just affordable, it's damn near elite. Archon Type B. Alright, this one right here, this is my personal guilty pleasure. The Archon Type B ain't just a good pistol, it's a mechanical show-off in the best kind of way. Built for folks who care more about performance than brand hype or flash. Now sure, the price lands around $900, so it ain't exactly wearing a budget badge. But what you're getting is way more gun than what you paid for. Let's talk about the tech. This ain't your run-of-the-mill striker fired with a tilt and barrel. Archon went their own way and dropped in a patented non-tilting barrel setup. That keeps everything tight and slams the bore axis way down low. In plain speak, it shoots flat, real flat, dump a whole mag and that front sight barely wiggles. The trigger's a treat short, take up, clean break, crisp reset. No grit, no drama. One of the best striker fired triggers I've ever laid a finger on, straight from the factory. Now the grip, that's another standout. Feels like it was molded straight off a competition shooter's hand. The texture, the undercut, the angle, it all just clicks. Even before I ported mine, it was a speed demon. And stock? Still a laser. Only gripe? It holds 15 rounds. Not bad, but for a pistol this size, 17 would have been nice. Still, that's nitpicking. Everything else, from the build quality to the way it shoots, is dialed in tight. If you're looking for something off the beaten path, something engineered to run smooth and shoot straight, the Archon Type B is your low-key ticket into top-tier territory. No race gun markup, just serious performance. And the best part? It doesn't just shoot better than it ought to, it makes you shoot better too. CZ P10 Series. If the term Glock killer was ever gonna stick, it ought to be stuck to the CZ P10 Series. And I'm not just talking about the P10C or the P10, I mean the whole lineup, front to back. These pistols come in right around $450, and for that kind of money, they put a whole lot of pricier striker-fired guns to shame. Let's start with how it feels in the hand cause. CZ just plain understands shooters. The grip angle's right on the money. The texture's got some bite without feeling like sandpaper. And the undercut up front lets you ride real high, giving you control where it counts. The trigger? Flat out better than a Glock. It's crisp, it's clean, and the reset is short enough to catch you by surprise. You could walk onto a USPSA stage with this thing bone stock and never feel like you brought a knife to a gunfight. Slide cuts? Got 'em. Optics ready? Sure is. Ambi controls? Front and center. And here's the cherry on top, aftermarket support has finally caught up. You can swap out the slide, barrel, trigger, sights, whatever you want. Or leave it stock. Truth is, it doesn't need much. I tuned mine up with a Cajun Gunworks trigger and a couple of ports, but even before all that, it was already running soft, fast, and dead-on accurate. If you're looking for a polymer pistol that's ready for work, ready for play, and doesn't need babysitting, the CZ P10 series is one of the sharpest values out there. Glock might have held the crown for a while, but this one ain't just knocking on the door. It's kicking it clean off the hinges. Ruger Security 9. You ever hear the phrase, not a Glock, but kinda a Glock? Well, that about sums up the Ruger Security 9. This one's Ruger's quiet but capable entry into the striker-fired scene. Only twist is it ain't striker-fired at all, it's actually hammer-fired. But honestly, that don't matter much. It looks like a Glock. It feels like a Glock, but it'll hit your wallet a whole lot lighter. Sitting right around $400, this pistol's carrying a whole bunch of Glock Gen 3 spirit with better ergonomics and a friendlier price tag. It even takes Glock sights and shares internals with the platform, making it a tinkerer's dream come true. Now here's the part folks don't expect: it actually shoots better than you think. A lot better. The grip is a big step up, more bite, better shape, and it settles right into your palm. Slides easy to rack, and the trigger? Better than it has any right to be at this price. And more importantly, it just runs. I've had folks run this side by side with a stock Glock 19 and look up like, wait, this is better? Yeah, it is. Now, a finish ain't gonna win any battles against higher-end coatings, and the controls feel a bit old school. But here's the deal, you're saving $200 to $300 over a Glock. That extra room lets you throw in a better trigger shoe, mount a red dot, maybe even toss on a compensator if you're feeling wild, and you'll still come out cheaper than a bare bones Glock 19. This ain't a pistol for bragging on Instagram. It's a workhorse. A budget brawler. The kind of gun you toss in the truck, train hard with, beat up, and trust when it counts. If you're piecing together your first setup or just want a straight-up shooter that runs like a Glock without cost, in like one, the Ruger Security 9 is the underdog you'll be glad you bet on. Canic MC9. We've made it to the tail end of the list, and we're closing it out with a pocket-sized powerhouse, the Canic MC9. If you've ever thought budget guns couldn't hang with the big names, this little pistol is here to knock that idea clean out of your head. Priced somewhere between $350 and $400, the MC9 is flat-out ridiculous for what you're getting. It shows up optics ready, comes with 2 magazines, 110 rounder and 112 holster, some cleaning gear, and even a hard case to tote it all around in. That ain't just a good deal, that's a full-blown starter kit. Now let's talk trigger. Canik's earned a solid name for cranking out some of the best factory striker-fired triggers on the market, and the MC9 carries that torch proud. You're looking at a light break in the ballpark of 2.5 to 3 pounds. And the reset? It's so short it feels like clicking a computer mouse. It's fast, real fast. And yeah, it'll have you double tapping like you're running a timer before long. The MC9's small enough for everyday carry, but it still shoots like it's got more weight behind it. Quick on follow-ups, easy to control, and the Ombi slide release is big and easy to reach no matter which hand's running it. Top it off with solid aluminum sights, and you've got yourself one serious contender in the EDC world, way stronger than its size and price would have you believe. Now sure, it's got a couple quirks. The grip's a little short, so some folks may find their pinky hanging off the bottom. And the bore axis rides a touch high. But truth be told, at this price point, those are easy trade-offs when the pistol runs this well. The MC9 proves that affordable don't mean compromised. Whether you're just starting out or you've burned through more brass than you care to count, this little gun shows exactly how much performance you can get without breaking the bank. Well, there you have it, 12 solid shooters that give you a whole lot of bang for your buck. Each one proves you don't need to spend like crazy to get real performance, whether you're chasing a tricked-out 2011, a striker-fired pistol that's ready for game day, or just a no-nonsense workhorse that won't drain your bank account. This list has you covered. Yeah, there's a flood of options out there these days, but these are the ones that rise to the top. They shoot true, run hard, and feel downright good while doing it. Sure, some of them are dressed up, some keep it simple, but every single one earned its spot. Because here in 2025, it ain't just about what you're shooting, it's about what you're getting for your money. So, which one would you run? Drop your pick down in the comments. Give that like button a solid press if you found something that caught you off guard. And don't forget to hit subscribe for more real deal firearm content. No fluff. Stay sharp, stay safe. Until next time, lock and load.